Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video we will be looking at the EC700. This is a pretty interesting dimple lock that has one very intricate anti-picking mechanism that requires some finesse to deal with. So let's see what is this lock all about. So looking at the key at first glance you might not see anything out of the ordinary. We have some bitting here. You can see 6 cuts for 6 pins that are present on one side of the plug, and there's more bitting that is designed for opposing pins. And in older versions of this lock, or new, actually not older but newer, like the ABUS 750 or 850, these pins are passive, so they do not do anything in terms of picking. But in the ABUS 700 and 800 as well, these are actually active. And the main problem is that if you look closely, they are actually opposing these pins. They are exactly right above or below each other, and this creates an interesting situation that I will expand upon in a few minutes. So let's see the plug. There's nothing too fancy about it. There's no overmilling, countermilling, but we do have 6 chambers for the, let's just call it the top stack, because I was treating it and picking it as top stack, and there are 4 chambers for the bottom stack or bottom pins. So as I said, these are opposing each other, so I can see through right in this section. So pins 1 and 6 on the top, they are just there, there's nothing under them, they are not a problem. But pins 2, 3, 4 and 5, they are opposed to these little guys on the bottom. So to add on this, we have to take a look at the pins themselves. So let's just see what's in the top stack. We have 2 kinds of pins there. There's 2 of these. These are tapered pins, so they are kinda, as I said, tapered. They are tilted or skewed towards their edges, so they like to drop as soon as you set another. And these are present in chambers 1 and 6. And in the remaining chambers we have spools, and these spools are also tapered, so everything likes to drop as you pick it, and you have to set the pins multiple times. These spools actually remind me a little bit of the icon spools. The size icon locks like to use this style of spools. So that's the main stack. The key pins are just your normal key pins, nothing interesting about them. And then there's these bottom pins. So they are just tiny little standards that are cupped, so the spring can go inside them, but there's no security features on them. They're just standard pins with super tiny springs. They are so small I will not even touch them unless I have to. Yes, so let's see, just look at those springs. The springs that are present in chambers 2, 3, 4, 5, the chambers that are actually opposing these chambers, are a bit longer, as you can see. They are longer than the ones in 1 and 6, and they are stronger. And what this does is basically it oversets all of these tiny bottom pins in a resting position of the lock. So they are basically overset from the get-go, and you have to somehow deal with this situation. A similar mechanism can be seen in the Kilit 164 B&E lock, a Turkish one, and I think a similar mechanism is also in the Benham M2K2 lock. So we have overset pins from the start. So how do we deal with this situation? Well, there are 2 ways how to deal with it. Most people you will see on YouTube who picked this lock, they created a tool like this. So it's basically just a wiper insert, it's a tensioner, that has a cutout in here. You can see I also attempted, as you can see, to do this tool, and this cutout is used like this. So what they do is that they first apply tension like this, right, and this tensioner lifts all of the pins with the stronger springs, the top pins, let's call them, and it allows these bottom tiny springs to jump back from their overset position. And this cutout is there just to give the little bottom pin some more space so they can really jump back. As soon as you do this, or the people that picked it like this do it, they pick the bottom pins, they get a little faucet, they extract this tool, and then they will slowly release tension and they will drop overset pins that are on the top, because by doing this with your tensioner you lift all the top pins, you will overset some of them, and then after they drop the oversets they pick the top as a normal dimple lock. So that's one way to do it, and I also did it like this, but I felt like it was very inconsistent in my case, probably because the tool is shitty and I'm just not good at all in making tools, and so of course I went for the path of least resistance, so I just used one tensioner, and this lock is nice because you can, at least from my experience, because I had multiple of these, you can choose which side or which stack of the pins will bind first, depending on the direction you tension the lock. So what I did was that I applied counterclockwise tension, and this caused the main stack or the top stack to bind first. So I did not worry about the overset pins from the start. And after I set all of these pins, after I picked the main stack or the top stack, I started to slowly release tension in order to drop these oversets back. And sometimes I had to like keep my flag under some of these top pins and keep them in a lifted position just to allow some overset pins from the bottom to jump back. But it worked after all. Now, I'm not trying to say that this is like some 100% revolutionary method how to pick this lock, because it might be only possible in some beatings. I don't know, maybe someone will test it later, but it worked, so I was pretty happy about it. And every time I can avoid making a tool or using it, I will definitely go for that option. So that's what I did. Basically, I made the top pins with the stronger springs bind first, I picked them, and then I slowly released some overset pins from the bottom, and yeah, then picked two of them, I think, and the lock opened. So that was the way I did it. Maybe it will work for you if you try it, maybe it won't. A little commentary about these top pins. As I said, all of them are tapered, so you will probably spend a little bit more time in setting them. Do not worry, just keep going, keep tapping them, and soon enough you will get some more feedback from them. You will get a little false set, and then you have these guys set. Alright, so I think I covered pretty much all of the picking process. Hopefully it was understandable, and let us begin with the practical demonstration. Alright, here we go. It works. So we'll be going counterclockwise, and of course we will start with the top pins, with the ones that have stronger spring. We will leave the bottom ones alone for now. So we got something out of 1 on the top, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, all good now. 4 is binding. Pretty hard actually. Okay, gotta click there, but I think I dropped something from the top. Yes, I did. Another click on 4 and another on 1 and 2 and 3. So the tapering comes into place, obviously. But now I have one up to 4 set, so 5. Click there. Let's just go through this once again. And 6. Okay. Icon 6. Again, let's check all the remaining pins, because they like to drop tiny little bit. Alright, so I think I have the top set now, so we should deal with the overset pins on the bottom, obviously. So I know that there is one under top pin 5, that's actually the bottom 4, so I will try to lift 5 now a little, the key pin I mean, and release some tension. Okay, so I got a nice D-profile set now, which means I probably either completely managed to reset pin bottom pin 4, or I managed to drop it in a way that it just reached the shear and I set it right away. We will see. Okay, anyway, so bottom number 1 is binding now as well, so it got reset as well somehow. Give me some weird counter rotation. I don't know why. Shouldn't. Yeah, I was pushing on a 0 lift, so that's not good. So actually I think bottom 1 is fine. So well, let's try to set bottom 3, and we did. And the lock is open, but I cannot extract, can I, my pick now, because it's stuck. So I will just relock it, and yeah, that's it. Perfect. So a little bit of dropping stuff, controlled dropping I mean, and we managed to crack this lock open. So let's try to get it. It's kind of awkward from what I've seen, so hopefully this will go well. So I know that there's a pretty nasty circlip in here that just hates to go off, so let me see if I can remove it like this. Oh, that was pretty smooth actually. I do have a shim here, and I do have a key, so I will try to shim these tiny little bottom pins. Well, the ones that are on bottom anyway. Some may call them top pins, but the ones that have tiny springs. So let's see how far we can get here. Not a problem apparently. Okay, there's some resistance. Yeah, so I think should be good. This far should be enough, I hope. And this cylinder actually has a weird size. It's a little bit smaller in diameter, so almost like a padlock plug. So I was thinking, what if I did this like with some high pin unlock, right? What can go wrong? I will just catch this key pin somehow. Oh, that was smooth. Perfect. Good, so I think we have the worst part done. Now I forgot which ones. Okay, these are the small pins, so this is dirty. Anyway, let's start dumping the why not bottom pins. So the bottom key pins I mean. So there's number 1. It would be nice if I had some tweezers, but I cannot really drop. I do have tweezers. I will get them. This is 2. this is 3. And 4. Alright. That wasn't a problem at all. I do have tweezers, so why not use them? Okay, so these are the bottom 4, now the top. So there's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 5 okay, and 6, and that should be it. So looks like the plug is empty now. Well, and this next phase will just get awkward, I'm pretty sure, because I do not have like this convenient cutout in my plug follower. So number 1 shouldn't be a problem because there's nothing opposing it, right? So there he goes. Looks like the springs don't really jump out, which can be a good thing. Alright, so how to approach this? I will just hold this pin, yeah, and I will let it jump out and just push it. Yes, I know how will I do it. Okay, but this one belongs here, right? Yes, that's a huge driver. That's a huge one. This is like a super tiny spring. Oh god, I don't want to lose this. I will never find this. This is so small. Okay, but I have it. Perfect. Okay, so we have 1, and so I can now safely remove 2 on the bottom, right? There he goes. The spring can remain there, because why not? Okay, so holding 3 down and waiting for 2 on the top to pop out. Okay, he's out. Perfect. So this is 2 on the bottom. Jesus, these pins are so tiny. And 3 on the top. Oh, it's on the bottom, but you know what I mean, goes out. Alright, oh, I still actually have the chin in there. I wonder if that's a good thing. I don't need it, right? Right. Okay. So now we can remove, what can we remove? We can remove 3 on the, yeah, the small pin number 3. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Wait, am I tripping? No, I'm not. Okay, something just popped out. That wasn't too nice. I think it was this guy, and it should be pin 4. Yes, that makes sense. And I need one more pin from the... Okay, I got him. I just want to catch that spring. Perfect. Oh, good. I think we're good. This will be a piece of cake now. Wonder how will I reassemble this, but I will worry about it later. No idea for now. Okay, now I only need to remove these springs, but that's the easy part, right? Unless something unexpected happens. Don't really want to. Oh fuck! This one is actually smaller. Ah, I did not expect that. I will have to think about why. Why is it smaller? But it's definitely not from chamber 3 as I see now. It's just a random smaller spring. And this one is from chamber 4, so it's definitely not from chamber 4. Okay. And there's still one more spring somewhere in there, I hope. Yeah, there is. And this one is smaller as well, so I think these might just be, yeah, these springs are actually with the pins that are on in the front and in the back, because they do not need to press down on these tiny opposing pins, so that makes sense. Perfect. So actually a surprisingly smooth-ish gutting. Pretty happy about that, because I already bricked one, but this one I did not. So is there autofocus on? I think there is. Okay, so close up on the pins, 6 larger and 4 small pins. Here's our core, key, and some circlip, and the housing I just left here. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and maybe you even enjoyed this gutting for some weird reason. Anyway, thank you for staying with me, and hopefully we will see each other in a very short time with the next video. Until then, have a nice day, bye.